Hey guys, right quick, I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that YouTube is kind of forcing me to do, not gonna lie, because I have to do this to enable the feature itself. But we officially have channel memberships now. You've probably heard a lot of YouTubers talk about this, or I've had a lot of YouTubers mention this in videos, and that's because YouTube requires us for some reason to announce this or talk about it in a video to enable the feature. Basically, if you're familiar with streaming and Twitch and whatnot, you know that a common feature is the subscription service, and YouTube has added a new thing to subscription services now where you can subscribe to the channel for way cheaper. Now we have 5 different ranks for subscriptions, maybe more in the future. None of them are that costly at all either. You have your Heartless, which is $1, Nobody $2, Seeker of Darkness $3, Foreteller $4, and then if you really want to go the extra mile, you can be a Guardian of Light for just $4.99 a month. Not that bad, right? Now of course I'll go ahead and edit these however I see fit depending on your guys' reactions. But the things you get for subscribing to the channel are you get exclusive announcements on what videos will be released, what plans I have for live streaming and such, and of course these beautiful emotes made by my good friend Zarin Art. And also it of course goes without saying that this would support me very much financially as well, since it helps pay for the internet, pay for the food, keep the light on, roof over my head, all that good stuff. But overall point is not trying to make this too long. It probably already is long, but subscribe to the channel if you want. But now let's get on with the video. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome back to another video talking about the main Nomura interview from the Ultimania for Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, this is going to be the last section of the interview out of the string of Ultimania videos I've been making recently. This is going to be talking about the developments of the Dark Seeker Saga as envisioned since Kingdom Hearts 2. This is going to be a lot of lore stuff, Nomura kind of clearing up some things, some misconceptions and whatnot. It's overall a very interesting read, so let's get right into it. With this title, the Dark Seeker Saga is complete. From when did you have this conclusion in mind? And what Nomura responds, I started envisioning it as the Dark Seeker Saga at the time of Kingdom Hearts 2. I more or less had the outline of the story decided around then. There are parts that changed from my initial vision as I went on writing the scenarios, for as manga artists often say, characters have a mind of their own. However, the main flow of events didn't change. Okay, so this is Nomura claiming that he's pretty much had most of everything written out or planned out, at least in his head, ever since Kingdom Hearts 2 was released. This does not come to as much of a shock to me, because if you read past interviews from like Birth by Sleep, for example, even Dream Drop, etc., you can kind of tell that he started like putting little hints and stuff there. Like you could tell that he had Kingdom Hearts 3 in mind when making every title after Kingdom Hearts 2. Even some moments in Kingdom Hearts 2 itself, when you go back to some of those moments, they reference to what happened today. In Kingdom Hearts 2, we learned that the Ansem who appeared in Kingdom Hearts 1 was not the real one. Did you have that plan from the start? When I was writing the scenario for Kingdom Hearts 1, I thought to myself, Ansem sure is super evil for a so-called wise man. That feeling was the seed that influenced the setup from Kingdom Hearts 2 onward. And I am glad he made Ansem the Wise, because Ansem the Wise is definitely one of my favorite characters in Kingdom Hearts. I've always loved the sciencey type of characters in media in general. One of my favorite anime characters is Okabe, for example, from Steins Gate, by the way. For those of you that don't know what Steins Gate is, you should definitely go and watch that anime. Definitely one of my favorites. We never would have guessed how important Xigbar ended up being when he first appeared in Kingdom Hearts 2 either. I hear that a lot. But on the inside, I meant for Xigbar to be a character with a special position from early on, which is why I had him do suspicious things during voice recordings for Kingdom Hearts 2 while listening to, I'm going to try and pronounce his name, Hochu Otsuka's voice. I think I did it right. I hope I did. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, but obviously that's Xigbar's voice actor. I felt that there was no way Xigbar was just an ordinary soldier in the system. He definitely had something going on behind the scenes, and midway through production, the setup developed into what we have now. That kind of thing does happen sometimes, the setup behind a character transforming as I bounce off a voice actor. That is a really cool piece of information actually. Xigbar, I did a lot of research. If you guys watch my hints about Luxu video actually, hints about the epilogue video, which is my most popular video, which a lot of you probably came from, I talked quite a bit about how it definitely seems like Nomura planned this from the get-go, and as we can see here, Nomura completely was inspired by the voice actor for Xigbar, the Japanese voice actor specifically. And both of them do an amazing job, both the English and the Japanese voice actors. Xigbar has definitely, or should I say Luxu now? Should I say Luxu now? I'm gonna say Luxu now. Luxu has definitely become one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts characters. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3 has definitely put him in like top 5, top 7 like range for my favorite characters. He's really up there. That epilogue, that death scene in Kingdom Hearts 3, and then after watching those two, going back and re-experiencing his cutscenes, it's just one heck of an experience, and it's one of the best setups I've seen happen in gaming, and it had some really good execution behind it as well. Overall, I just really loved it. The story's endgame, where all your friends and foes gather at the Keyblade Graveyard, was a masterpiece. Now, I've already read this in another video. I made a separate video about this topic alone, but I'm just gonna read it here for those of you who are watching this and haven't watched the other video. I know each fan has their own different beloved character, so I wanted to give each one an appropriate moment, but in the end, there was too much story that had to be told then, and I ended up being restricted to the minimum necessary to move Sora forward. The truth is, the Keyblade Graveyard was the toughest part I faced when writing the scenario. Shining the spotlight on each character one by one allows you to depict the unfolding developments with time and care, but the flow of the game requires the player to control Sora and fight battles. Ideally, I should have had characters with connections fight it out one by one and settle things that way, but that would have required too much exposition. On the other hand, I did think of limiting the numbers of enemies you actually battle and finishing others with cutscenes, but it didn't feel right. At the end of deep worry and thought, I narrowed my aim and ended up with the way it is now, which prioritizes rhythm, which I definitely respect, and he's definitely expanding upon a lot of this in the DLC. Now, if you guys watched my video about how Keyblade Graveyard was probably going to be reworked in the DLC right before the DLC trailer came out, you would know that this right here basically kind of told us what to expect in Remind partially. And I made a video about this like right before the Remind trailer came out, like a week or two before, and those of you who watched that video, you were in the know about what was going on, but it's still really cool regardless that he is actually going through with what he originally planned by having Roxas, Aqua, Riku, and all of them playable. I understand his reason for not doing so initially, because it definitely would have messed with the flow a little bit, even though I know a lot of fans would have loved it. I can understand that it might have been a little too much if it was the other way around, having Sora fight one-on-one battles constantly, or having everyone fight one-on-one battles, because that would have been too much exposition. Because when you think about it, really, having all of the 7 Guardians and 13 Darknesses fight one-on-one, that might have been a little long. That would have been really long, actually. So I respect that he made it like multiple fights, which was actually one of my favorite parts about it. Like, we've never really had anything like that in the Kingdom Hearts series, fighting multiple bosses at the same time, and I feel like it worked really well. Like, for example, in the Triple Xehanort fight, it worked marvelously. Like, that fight, those 3 characters work so well together. It's honestly just crazy. Like, even though you're fighting 3 enemies, it definitely feels like you're fighting one big boss, and I just love that feeling so much. So it's surprising that even though it seems like he had some things that he didn't put in there, that he's probably going to be putting in the Remind DLC, that we still got as amazing of a Keyblade Graveyard as we did. And even the interviewer said, like, the Keyblade Graveyard was like a masterpiece. And it's crazy that Nomura was like, oh, you think it's a masterpiece? Well, I did forget to put this and that in, and it's just like him flexing on us, like, come on, Nomura. But thank you at the same time, though. Anyways, second to last comment, the final world is introduced as a place that is very important to the story. What kind of world is it? It's the world where those one step from death end up, a place connected to the Station of Awakening. The Station of Awakening, as we have seen it so far, has been a stained glass pillar standing in pitch darkness, and it represents the inside of a heart, but this time I wanted to represent it more tangibly. So I went with the setup that the final world is like a portal for each heart. As said in the game, the edges of sleep and death touch. Hearts that are in the state of sleeping are in the Station of Awakening, and if they continue to walk forward from there, they'll end up in the final world. That's the sort of image I was going for. Okay, so that's Nomura basically explaining what the final world is and how the Station of Awakening and final world connect to each other. It's still a little bit convoluted, but I think I understand what he's getting at. When you think of it simply in that last little phrase he says, it definitely starts to come together. Hearts that are in a state of sleeping are in the Station of Awakening, and if they continue to walk forward from there, they'll end up in the final world. When you think of that line right there, it definitely simplifies it quite a bit, making it a little more easy to understand. But overall, I really like the final world. Like, the final world is easily one of the most visually appealing worlds I've ever seen in the Kingdom Hearts series. And I know it's literally just water and blue skies, but it's so breathtaking at the same time. I really don't know how to describe it. And maybe it's because of the music, the atmosphere, it's all just so cool. Like, do you guys agree with me on that? Am I crazy for saying that's probably one of my favorite original worlds in the series? I definitely hope we visit that place again sometime, like maybe as some other characters. But that world was just so cool. I loved it so much. Now on to the last comment, which I've also talked about in a previous video. This is talking about Final Fantasy characters, but I'm going to read it once again for those of you who haven't watched that video and are just watching this one to have everything in one place. Was there a reason that no Final Fantasy characters appeared in the game this time? It was simply that there was no room. There were so many characters appearing in the main story that in the end I wasn't able to create opportunities to use the Final Fantasy characters, although I did have the team make polygon models of Leon and some others just in case. They also made the fairy godmother from Cinderella and a few others, but by the end I just couldn't find a place to use them. The production staff were mad at me. Probably because you kind of wasted their time, basically. But on the topic of Final Fantasy characters, I've talked about this so many times. Some people are extremely mad about it. Me, I don't really care, I guess you can say. I care and don't care at the same time. It's kind of weird. Like, to me, Kingdom Hearts is still Kingdom Hearts without Final Fantasy characters, because we've had like multiple Kingdom Hearts games without them. Dream Drop being one, Kingdom Hearts 3 being one. It's not something that's really new for the series, you know what I mean? Kingdom Hearts to me is still Kingdom Hearts without Final Fantasy characters, and I honestly genuinely feel this way. No shots at anyone in this video, but I feel like the only people that don't agree with that are the people who've only played like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, because outside of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Kingdom Hearts games don't have as much Final Fantasy involvement as some people think. There's literally like 1 or 2 cameos to a Final Fantasy character and like 1 or 2 cutscenes in Birth by Sleep. And to some people, that's like their favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Honestly, I can't even remember off the top of my head if there's any Final Fantasy characters in Days, and Days is some of the best story Kingdom Hearts has ever had. It's kind of like this. I definitely think that Final Fantasy characters aren't a necessity in the Kingdom Hearts series, but at the same time, Square Enix is taking away something that never really should have gotten taken away. It should definitely be one of those things that's like a priority, you know? Because at the end of the day, Final Fantasy characters was something that we all grew up with having in Kingdom Hearts, and even though a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans don't even play Final Fantasy, it's still something that like we loved as children. We loved as children. something that is very near and dear to our hearts. And I'm sure Final Fantasy characters will return in future games. I definitely understand Nomura's reason, and I hope other people do as well, because I think some people really go over the top when they talk about no Final Fantasy characters in the game. And it's like there's so much build up to this moment, and it's like there was so much build up to this moment that I can understand why there was no room for them. Like, I don't know the intricacies of like their development, whatnot, what time constraints they had. They probably had to optimize time to make Kingdom Hearts 3 as good as it was, while also trying their best to satisfy fans, and Final Fantasy characters just happened to be the thing that was left out. And that's happened in multiple Kingdom Hearts games. This is nothing new really. But overall, I do hope they return in the next game. They're definitely going to return. The series isn't over now or anything, but that's all just me, my opinions. Don't cancel me for it. I just hope everyone understands why Nomura didn't put Final Fantasy characters in the game, because I know that's such a touchy topic. But anyways though, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We learned a lot today about Final Fantasy characters, about the final world, about how Nomura apparently had a lot of this written out like while he was making Kingdom Hearts 2 or after Kingdom Hearts 2. Lots of very interesting stuff. Now this is the last section of this interview. There is more stuff to cover in the Ultimanias, but I'm pretty much done with the interviews from now, at least from Nomura. There's not going to be that many more Nomura interviews. Not from this Ultimania anyways. Maybe from the past ones, because I'm thinking about covering the past Ultimanias, because Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't the only title in the series to have had one. Kingdom Hearts 2 has had one, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop, even Recoded. Almost every new release for Kingdom Hearts outside of the HD collections and Key has had an Ultimania. And I am thinking about covering those as well, because they hold a lot of very interesting information as well. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share the video with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.